Everyone, if you're just tuning in, welcome. And if you have not watched part one of this little mini series I have going, I highly recommend you check it out first. The story on how I cut my work week by 20% while increasing my production and GCI by over 20% in just 1 year. So how did this all start? The universe showed up big like it always does through owner of the Easy Sales team, coach with Clever You, and today one of my nearest and dearest friends. One day I was asked to fill in for another agent to teach an Ignite class. Somehow my crazy calendar had that slot open and I said yes. And that's when I ran into Greg. We started talking and I shared some of my goals and where I wanted to go. And he said it sounded like I wanted to get into coaching. I kind of laughed it off. Yeah, I'd love to coach one day, but right now I barely have time to breathe. I'm working like 80 hours a week. I'll never forget his response. It was life-changing. Then you're already behind. You need to start a team, you need to get a coach, and you need to come meet me in Traverse City for this Clever You retreat. Kind of listened. I was a little hesitant about the coach and the Clever You retreat because I'd been to some trainings that I felt I wasted my time. And so I didn't know if I was willing to make that big of a commitment when I already was having an issue lacking time. But that fall, TK came to Cleveland for a Clever You tour stop, and I figured, what's a half day? I could commit a half day, and if it didn't work out, I just will feel like I wasted some time, but at least it wasn't a full week. For the first time in a long time, I was fully engaged, nonstop notes, letting clients know I'd follow up later. I knew I'd found my people, and that day changed my life dramatically. That December of 23, I finally signed up for coaching, and at first I was paired with this incredible coach, but in the first month, I wasn't sure if I was getting what I needed, and to be honest, I don't even think I knew what I needed. Don't get me wrong, I was super grateful and I was getting a lot out of it, but something was missing. And we were doing elite coaching, so Katie was also paired with her, and when she had her first session, she walked away with this feeling I'd been chasing, and it thus far has been the perfect fit, and she's transformed our business with it being the perfect fit. But I remember panicking, thinking, maybe I'm not coachable, maybe my expectations were too high. This isn't going to be a sky-opening, life-changing experience that I built up in my head. So I started to reach out to other agents I knew that had coaches and get their opinion. Was it me? Because usually if there's a problem, the problem is me. And they suggested I reached out to Kate. Once again, the universe showed up. Kate Simon happened to be out of town and directed me to TK. During our conversation, I opened up about how I was feeling, how I figured it was probably me, that maybe it was just I felt I needed somebody that had a similar high D personality. And TK asked a magic question. Is there a coach you have in mind? Without hesitation, I said yes. I'm only sharing this experience because if maybe you've tried coaching and feel that you felt a similar experience, maybe it wasn't that coaching isn't for you. Maybe you just weren't paired with the right fit. And what happened here was, so surprise, surprise, the problem was me, and I didn't follow direction. When completing my needs analysis, I filled out like 2 a.m. They tell you to make sure that you can focus. I was overwhelmed. It was pure chaos. And I was focused on the wrong thing, focused on problems I was trying to solve without understanding the issue. The truth is, I was just looking at the surface and wasn't a clear enough state of mind to probably look further at that moment. So when you fill out something focused on systems and processes, of course, in hindsight, it's no surprise I was paired with this phenomenal operations coach. What is not my area of expertise and what I really needed to focus on. Pro tip number 1, follow the directions and pay attention if you're filling out a needs analysis to your state of mind, because it will impact you in ways. So, moral of the story, TK was able to make adjustments to fit me in her schedule, but first wanted me to redo this needs analysis. And this time I followed the direction. Realized I needed a coach who could dominate the conversation, match my energy, and cut straight to the point. That following week, we started to work together, and that's when the sky started to open up and the fireworks started. If you're like me, you're probably like, get to the point already. What has coaching done for you? So if you're wondering why, in my opinion, having a coach is so important, first and foremost is accountability, especially when it came to time blocking, staying focused, and executing things. A huge point that I got out of this was there was a difference between responding and acknowledging as well to stay focused during my day. Systems and structure was another big thing, knowing exactly where to direct my energy. While my schedule, of course, is never the same, I have my non-negotiables, and then I have windows where I try to keep certain tasks consistently in my schedule and certain times that I have appointments. And then perspective. A lot of times you can't see what's holding you back and you need someone's help to identify it. A lot of self-discovery and looking within has come from coaching this year. TK doesn't just tell me what to do. She's guided me in a way that's made me buy into processes before I even knew the solution or what we were actually working towards. But there was a lot of trust that I had in her, and that's huge to be able to trust your coach and just trust the process. She doesn't just coach me, she challenges me, and consistently it shifts my perspective in ways that push me further than I thought possible. And guess what? My final closing, ironically, of the year, who has become a very dear friend of mine, closed December 30th. And they are someone I met because of this coaching accountability and with me going into the office consistently during certain days and certain times. Their closing alone, though, the kicker is, closed about 75% of my coaching cost for the entire year. Also very exciting, this January 21st, I will be heading down to Scottsdale for the summit. It'll be my 5th Glover U conference, and I cannot recommend these events enough. There's something magical about being in a room with hundreds of like-minded individuals who thrive on collaboration and action. The energy is absolutely contagious, and every single time I walk away feeling empowered and ready to take on the next level of life. As well with my coaching, I find the things that I want to implement, and when we get back, we can start working on those things right away to enhance the experience for our clients. And I'm not saying Glover U is the end-all, be-all, but for me, I could not have designed something better. It is exactly what I needed at the right time to grow and scale. And if you're not bought in, like I wasn't originally, I highly recommend you fit this in your schedule and come see for yourself. Now, I wish I could say just coaching is what got me to this point in life, but it is not. So part 3, I'll share some other major factors. Don't worry, they won't go on as long. This is just one that I'm very passionate about, and it was kind of the main jumpstart kicker to everything. And if you have questions about coaching, comment or that's something I'm super passionate about and think everyone would improve their lives dramatically on every level from coaching. Even if you have objections or what's holding you back, I am here to help. Till next time, don't forget to subscribe.